Good evening, YouTube. Long time no video update. It feels like it's been like forever I haven't updated. Oh my gosh, so much has gone on. I said, you know what? It's time for an update. I think I said that last week. I don't know. Everything's blending together. I hope all is well with you all. Finally, I get a video where it's not so dark that you can't see me. Got my little space buns in my hair tonight. Well, that's how I wear it every day, honestly. Either I wear it like this or I wear it in a solo bun in the back. But I'm still rocking my natural hair. Tonight, I wanted to talk about, it's an update, of course. Excuse me. I don't even know where to start. So much has happened, really. So let's start from February 16th. And then I'll go before that. I'll do like a history. But I'll start at February 16th. Leading up to February 16th, let me make sure you can see me. Hold on. Sorry. Still look the same. Leading up to February 16th, I was having a lot of sexual harassment at work. Just a little bit. It wasn't extreme, but I didn't like it. It didn't make me feel comfortable at all. A female co-worker, she wasn't my supervisor per se, but was a supervisor. And because I wear dresses, I wear dresses or skirts. For work, I wear skirts. I do have a couple of dresses as well. But during COVID at some point, I decided, well, I didn't necessarily decide, but I read the scripture and it says that women should be modest in how they dress. So I always wanted to be modest. I felt like I didn't look good in a dress. I always wore dresses, but after a certain age, I didn't feel I felt like, I was shapeless. I felt like I didn't have much of a shape in the dress after hormones and perimenopause and all of those things. Women's bodies change so extreme. You can look in the mirror one day and you can see one image, and then or after COVID, especially during COVID, I really saw a big shift in my physical form. So yeah, people say people are shape-shifting. Yeah, we are shape-shifting. Yes, if you're lucky, we're shape-shifting, because if you're still in the body of a newborn baby, something is wrong. We are the shape shifters. We're going to shape shift. We're not going to be the same from the day we're brought into this world to the day we go out. We are not going to be the same. Every 90 days, our red blood cell is new. So pretty much every 90 days, we could be a new person, a totally different new person. Totally different. Every cell in your body change. 90 degrees, I didn't mean to say 90 degrees, 90 days, every cell in the body could change and be new. So yes, we are shapeshifters. So she was harassing me about, you should wear jeans. Why don't you come to my office? And everybody's going to wear the same thing. Every day we're going to all dress alike. I've never been one that get into cliques. I've never been one to follow trends. I've never been one to go into a job situation and brown nose. I just go to the job and do my job and go home. That's it. Me being a supervisor myself, I'm more of a role model, and I'm more of a person that they can come to if they need someone to talk to, if they need some advice, if they need some help. Whatever I tell them to do, I am also willing to do it as well. So I'm pretty calm, and especially if it's some crazy stuff going on, I'm really, really, really calm in the eye of mayhem and chaos and confusion. I'm usually the one that's very calm. So a lot of my people that worked under me, or people that I supervised, they like to hang around me, because when I go to work, everything is going to be calm. There's not going to be anything going on. There's not going to be any drama. I mean, all I do is just pretty much sit there and manage and monitor and make sure. I'm a person that work beyond circumstances. If I know certain things are going to take place, I already know. I already prepare and plan and know what's to come next. So what am I going to be excited about? So there's nothing to be excited about. I'm sitting there calm, silent usually, and we'll have a couple conversations, or they'll ask me a couple of questions, and I usually come up with something really funny to talk about if they ask me. Or it's just so much. It was so much fun working at the place I worked. But with the other supervisor harassing me, telling me, when I asked for supplies that she's the only one that had the key to, like some cream. One of the clients needed a cream, and I asked her for the cream, and she was like, "Is this for your butt? Are you gonna use this? Are you gonna use this for you?" And I'm looking at her like, we already had a full meeting. We had to have a meeting, and at the meeting I told them that she was saying things inappropriate, and that I didn't like the fact that she would call my phone while I was at home, or text me, when I was away. I didn't like it. It wasn't unnecessary. She was just inappropriate, and I was like, I could deal with it. I can handle it. I'm gonna keep on working there. I'm not gonna let anybody just run me off because of their being sexually aggressive, or and she would say things like, "Oh, you ain't getting none. I know you ain't getting none. When was the last time you had some?" And I would look at her like, I came in here because I was wondering if, I would stay on topic, which was not sexual, nothing about my sexual orientation, or who I'm screwing, or what I'm doing. And I'm just like, I just kind of bypassed her. If she would say something inappropriate, I would just stay on topic. Or like she says, "This is cream for you. Is this butt cream for you?" After we had this meeting about her being inappropriate, because we had a meeting because I was sent into a client's room, actually a married couple's room, that both of them had the flu. I was on a Friday. Well, Sunday came, and through the night I couldn't sleep. I was feeling sick. And I was like, I don't know what's going on with me. I need to call them and tell them I'm not coming in because I don't feel myself. So I called in, and she answered, and I said, "Hey, I'm not coming in. I feel horrible." I didn't have a voice at all. I didn't have a voice at all, and I could hardly talk. And I said, "I'm calling in because I'm not feeling well." She's like, "Okay." And then after that, she called, was like, "Well, if you sick, you should have told us." And I'm like, I am telling you now because it's in the middle of the night and it's Sunday, and I won't be there Monday because I don't feel good. So Monday, I drug myself out. I got a flu test, took the flu test, and it was negative. So I took a picture of the flu test, and I'm like, you know what? It came out negative. Excuse me, but I still don't have a voice. I still feel horrible. And it says retake in 48 hours. So I'll retake it in 48 hours. So she calls and says, No, I called her to tell her this, and she said, why didn't you just text me? I don't want to talk to you. And you know what? Because she was on call to get the respond to anyone that calls in. I don't want to talk to you. I can't even hear you. And she hung up. So I texted her. I said, you know, this is what the test says, and I'll recheck in 48 hours. So she was like, you know, she just kept continuously making it a big deal, because she would have to work in my place if I was gone. So, you know, I can understand she's upset, but that's her position. That's what she's supposed to do. That if somebody's not feeling, you want me to come in and give everybody my illness, I could do that. So I was like, okay, that was really nasty and rude, the way she just said, I can't even hear you. It's obvious that you're sick. And she gets off the phone, you know, text me. So I texted her and told her what was going on. I sent her a picture that it was negative, and I retested 48 hours. So she got with the other manager, my boss, the one that's over me, and he was like, well, you know what, if she's sick and she's going to be out, then she needs to bring a doctor's excuse. And she calls and says, you know what, instead of you coming back after 48 hours, why don't you just stay? It's already Sunday. Why don't you just come back next week? So she's going to try to hit my pockets. And I'm like, next week? Like, you're not even my supervisor. You're equal to me. And you telling me that I need to stay out a week? You're crazy. But I'm going to call my direct supervisor and see what he got to say about it. And I'm like, you know what? Better yet, I'm just going to rest. I'm not going to tussle with these people. She said stay out. I'm going to hold her to that. I have the text here to say that she said stay out, and I'm staying out. I have proof that she the one said stay out. So if anyone have any issues with what she said since she was on call, then they need to take it up with her. So I hung out. I was off a week. And I didn't feel good most of the time. I still didn't have a voice. But actually, what happened was Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? It was Tuesday. She started texting saying, hey, could you come in on Wednesday night? This, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, why is she texting me? She told me not to come in till Monday. I still feel like crap. I don't know what's going on with me. And at that point, I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to run back and take another test for COVID or flu if they already told me to take off a week. I'm good taking off a week. It'll be great taking off a week. I'm resting. I'm trying to rest. So she's texting and texting her. Could you come in Wednesday? Could you come back Thursday? Could you come back Friday? Could you come in Saturday? Every day she's asking me to come back to work. But you were the main one telling me not to come back to Wednesday. So when I did go back, I was like, we have to have a meeting. Because I blocked her. I was like, you know what? This is not a good situation. Instead of me being able to rest, she's sending all these texts to my phone. And I'm not going to respond because I'm not feeling well. And she's already told me in her anger not to return. So I'm like, okay. I come back Monday. Everything's well. Everything's cool. Then turn around. We had an ice storm here in Dallas. Well, I've been here 20 years. And if there's an ice storm or any sign of ice, everything shuts down. You cannot go anywhere. And where I'm at right now, at this motel that I've been in forever. So I left the homeless shelter. I did whatever that needed to do. It was horrific. Horrific. It was horrible. But God told me, this is where you're going. This is where you're going to stay until I tell you to go somewhere else. And it was painful. It was horrible. I'm not complaining about it because I said, you know what? Whatever you say, Lord. Whatever you say, Lord. So I stayed there for 3 months. I can't believe it was 3 months, but it was an experience. And that's what he has us on this planet for, is to have experiences. So after that experience, I came to the Motel 6, which is where I was here 2 weeks before I was allowed to go into the homeless shelter. So I came back to the Motel 6 where I've been since November when the shelter released me, quote unquote. They released me like November 12th, 2025. So I came here at the Motel 6 that I was at before I went to the shelter. And back to the story with work. So I returned to work. Everything was great. We had a snowstorm, or a freeze, not necessarily a snowstorm, but it was a freeze. And we had rain before the freeze. So the roads were ice. So the first day I was like, I can't come in. It was like, well, we have rides. We have rides to come pick you up. Are you still going to come in? I am off the freeway. I am in Texas. I am not in a major city like Plano, Texas, where there's ice. There's a skating rink on the expressway. I'm right off the expressway, or not expressway, but the freeway. I'm right off the freeway, this Motel 6. And they were like, we'll come get you. No. If I don't trust myself, driving myself 10 minutes up the road to this job, I'm not going to trust somebody else. And it's not the fact that the individuals in the car that I'm in that I don't trust. It's the people that's all around us that cannot drive. And they're rushing to work and trying to get where they're trying to go. No, on ice. So I said I'm not coming. It was Monday. So I think it was like Tuesday. I returned to work and everything. Time passed. And then it was the ice storm. And first I was like, okay, I can't get out there. I'm looking out the window of the Motel 6, and it's like 1 or 2 cars on the road. And I'm like, my instinct tells me no. And I was in a really bad car accident here in 2016. February 17, 2016. And I almost died. A lady ran the red light and hit my driver's side front of my car, spin me around, broke 2 places in my back, and had to learn to walk again for the next year. So for a whole year, I had to go to I did physical therapy for like 3 months. Physical therapy did not help get me back to walking. I was still dragging my left leg. I went to a chiropractor, and they put me on a decompression machine, and I was able to use my left leg again. 2016 was learn how to walk again. So me going on the road in dangerous conditions, knowing I already had issues with my back in 2 places, I can't get hit again. I can't be in another car accident, period. So I was like, no. So Tuesday, it warmed up a little, and then it rained. And then as the night creeped down, it dropped below 30 again. It dropped to freezing again. And I was like, oh my goodness. Not only did whatever snow was there has melted and then turned into ice, then that rain, I was like, So actually Tuesday I went to work. Then Wednesday was when Tuesday the sun came out, it seemed like it was okay. It was not okay. It looked okay out the window, but when I got to my car, my windshield was full of ice and snow. And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna warm the car up. It should be okay. Warm the car up, scrape the, I kind of hit the, what did I hit the front of the window with? I hit the front of the window with something to break up whatever's left from the heat after the car was heating up, to clear the window. Rolled to probably like 25 minutes to work. It's only 10 minutes away. But I rolled to work and got there. I'm telling you, I was so paranoid having to go home, because as the evening went on, it started to freeze. Everything that melted started to freeze again. So I got in the car to come home after work, and people were spinning into the guardrails. I started sliding, and I wasn't even going fast, but I was like, oh shoot, I'm not even going fast, and I'm sliding. This SUV flew past me, and I was like, why am I here? What did I do? Why did I make this decision? I could have just stayed home. So that was ice. So I was due to come back to work the next day. I was like, I'm not coming. I said, if somebody want to risk it and pick me up, maybe I will come. They was like, no, we don't have anybody. They're all tired. They went running, getting people all, the last several days. So they're not taking any rides. I said, well, I'm not coming in. And, even I don't trust myself coming in at this point. I mean, I don't know what it looked like, but I'm not getting on the road. So I called in that day, came to work, and they wrote me up for the storm. And I'm like, I'm getting written up because there is no way to ride on the road to get to work. I was like, okay. So I didn't say that. I just said, oh, they was like, we have to write you up. And I was like, oh, for what? Because you didn't come in, and the first day that they were picking people up, you didn't accept the ride. And I said, because I don't trust somebody to drive with me in severe inclement weather, I'm being written up. Well, that's what they said that we had to do. And I said, okay, no problem. I went ahead and signed the write-up, and I left the office. And I was back, my joyful, I didn't get upset or anything, continued my shift. But after that, I was like, you know what? How is this self-love? How is this normal? They're going to write you up because you don't want to ride with them. And you don't even trust yourself to ride, so you're supposed to trust them? I was like, that's okay. I got this woman harassing me, sexually harassing me, and she won't stop. We already met about it, and she still insisted on having these sexual jokes. Then I have my direct supervisor having me written up for a snow day. I was like, okay, it's time for me to put my 2 weeks notice in. I put my 2 weeks notice in. It was like, please don't leave. We need you. We don't have anybody else to work here. We need you. And I was like, I'm sorry. I have to just do, what's best right now. And maybe I'll come back. I was like, maybe I'll go PRN, or I'll come back. I'll come back in about 3 months or so. I'll let you know. So I did my 2 weeks and a day, because she was like, I can't work. I've been working, and I've been on the floor, and I don't know. I don't have anybody. Could you please stay? And I was like, okay, I'll stay one more day. I stayed one more day, and I left that job. I left that job, and I said, you know what? Now I need to see why I've been aching. I was having body aches. And I'm like, okay, I've had different things going on all the way through COVID, and, getting sick. I had COVID twice. Then every time I returned to work, I would have something. I was already working in COVID, community service work. Got COVID, left that job because I got COVID. Well, they was like, they had found somebody else to do the job. Got COVID. Yeah, you can take them to court and sue and all that. I'm not doing that. So I started another job, and what happened? I ended up just having issues and then I ended up anemic. Just female issues, fibroids, and just all my blood was leaving my body under the stress of the position, under the stress of COVID, under all the things. So my blood was leaving my body. Then after I became anemic, I got shingles. Saw a little bitty pin, but like a little bitty tiny, it was like the head of a pin a stick pin. And I was like, how did I get bit by an ant? And then an ant get in the bed? That's like a fire ant. And I was like, oh my gosh, a fire ant. That's so weird. And I went to sleep. When I went to sleep, I was sleeping soundly. And it was like electric shock wrapped around my body. And I like jarred. I woke up. And I was like, oh my gosh. An electric shock that wraps around your body. I know what that is. And I was like, this little thing that I thought was a little ant bite, fire ant bite, it was actually shingles. So I went on Dr. Google, and it said, if you find that you have a shingles outbreak, go get your shingles vaccine, get diagnosed and get treated for shingles. So it was like a Wednesday. So I had an appointment on Friday for the dermatologist to properly diagnose that it wasn't all in my mind. Tuesday night was the night that the shock went around, like electric went around my body. So it was Friday or Thursday or Friday, I had my dermatology appointment. But Wednesday, after Tuesday night, when I got the electrical shock, I Googled through the night. Wednesday morning, I went to the CVS and got my first shingle vaccine. Thursday or Friday, I got my prescription for shingles vaccine, and the doctor told me you're only supposed to take. He said you're only supposed to take 2 of these a day, but he said that if you don't take these like every 6 hours as frequently as you can around the clock, it will not be effective and you'll continue to have shingle outbreaks. He said, I'm going to give you more than the supply you're supposed to give. Don't tell anybody I gave you this. Don't tell anybody I told you to take more than you were supposed to. If you don't, you're going to continue to have outbreaks later in life. So I said, okay. Took the shingles pill, already had the vaccine before I saw the doctor. So I saw the doctor and I started putting my stuff on a timer. Every 6 hours, take 2 of these giant horse pills. Or 1 of them. 1 or 2 of them. I think it was 1. I'm not sure. I did that until all the pills were gone. Well, however long that took. But the good thing is that when I got the shingles vaccine and I started taking the pills, I didn't have another bump. I didn't have another electrical charge wrapped around my body while I was asleep. They were gone. They disappeared like I was lying. It disappeared like it never happened. So I'm like, okay, I know this is considered spiritual warfare. And also in 2020, I caught myself doing a skin peel. And I put the skin peel stuff on my face. And I'm like, okay, I've done this before. And the last time I did it, I didn't keep it on long enough. So I'm just going to sit here until I start to feel a tingle. So I'm sitting there watching TV. And the stuff didn't tingle. And I was like, well, this stuff is not tingling. It's been long enough. I went in the mirror. My whole face was black. I burned my skin all the way down to the pink. And at that point, I had just left my job that gave me a hard time because I was in community healthcare, and I went and saw a cancer patient before I was to see the cancer patient before I was to see the COVID patient. Because with a cancer patient, their autoimmune system is down. So I needed to have on clean clothes, clean everything to greet that cancer patient. So I did all of that, and I saw her, and then I went to see the COVID patient. Well, my job got upset, and they was like, we needed you to see the COVID patient first before you went all the way over there to see the cancer patient. And I told them I couldn't do it. I was like, no, I couldn't go to an obviously infected person and then go to a person that had cancer. So people in the office, they don't care. They want their money, and they want you to do what they say as a slave, no matter if you, they don't want you to think, they want you to be a monkey. They want you to be a monkey. Do what they say and don't ask questions. Don't try to make sense of it. So she ended up lying. This supervisor, she ended up lying and said that, a patient called and I didn't help. And I was like, yes, I did, and I have their number. So I called HR and I said, I have their number on my private phone, because after she said they did all this, they wiped the company phone clean, so that if I go into the phone and try to find a number, the phone was blank. And I was like, they done wiped the phone clean. So I can't, because I tried to access the phone numbers to write them down. So I played them like I already had the phone numbers written down. I already did it. So when we got on the call, HR, this supervisor that wanted me fired after I saw the COVID, after I saw the cancer patient before I saw the COVID patient, she wanted me fired. She was pissed that I did that. So she said that I didn't do my job. And she said that the people that I spoke to, this, that, and the other, which I had good rapport with all the people that I work with. And I said, I have all their numbers. So I told HR, I have all these people's numbers. She was like, you sure that didn't happen? I said, I'm positive it didn't happen. You want me to call them? So I kind of bluffed them. And she was like, no, we don't want you to call. And she was like, we're just relieving you of your duties, this and the other. I was like, that's fine. And so I left that job, and they sent me a $10,000 check. Why would you send me a $10,000 check? I've been asking for family, FMLA, because everybody had called off. Didn't nobody want to work? And then you working me and this other guy, this guy, all around the clock. We weren't getting any sleep. It was me or him, and it was just horrible. So I was like, you know what? I need FMLA, and they wouldn't give me the information I needed. The FMLA guy said, oh yeah, I sent you the paperwork to fill out. Did you get it? And I'm like, no, I didn't get it. And I didn't get it. No, I didn't get it. So I think they sent the $10,000 because, one, I had been asking to take off because I needed a break, lack of sleep, constantly going, no break, no food, just horrible. So I got the check for $10,000 for that. And I was like, I'm going to hang out here and just try to get myself together. I already had COVID once. I'm already losing so much blood and growing a whole tumor because of this doggone stress that I'm under. So I'm just going to take a break. And then there was the shingles. And then I got COVID again. And I was like, okay. I was praying so hard. And I was like, God, you said that there would be no plague come before my dwelling. What is going on? Why am I going through all of this? Why am I going through all of this? I'm anemic. I'm weak. I can't go to work without a diaper. All these things are happening. So I'm like, I'm going to take a break. So December came. It was just a lot throughout COVID. And then December of 2024 came. I got another job. I was still having issues with anemia and hemorrhaging with the fibroids. And I got a job. And it was like, okay, we need you to walk a mile with us. We're having a parade. I'm like, I can't walk. And then we have an admission. And it was just weird. I knew something was weird about the job. I just didn't know exactly what it was. So they said, we have an admission, but I think we're going to give you additional $10,000 a year. And I was like, for what? For gas. And I was like, for gas? This don't make a bit of sense. They're giving me an extra $10,000 a year for gas. And I'm like, something don't sit right with me. Something ain't right. So I had an admission, and I did all my due diligence to make sure that the person qualified to be there. And it's a lot of red tape and things you have to do to make sure that if you sign your name to say that they qualified, you're going to be the one to go to jail. You're going to be the one to go to jail because you said that they qualified. So I took the time and I did everything, and I, told the director of that job why this person qualifies and all the things that I did to make sure they qualified. And my supervisor's like, wow, you're amazing. You are amazing. This is great. We're gonna give you an additional $10,000, and then next year you're gonna be making $125,000. And then she was just saying all this stuff, and I was like, it didn't sit right with me. So, I'm going to the office or whatever, and I'm finding things that's really suspicious in the files. And I'm like, okay, here I am, supposed to be the director, and I'm finding weird stuff in these files. And, the people that worked under me were asking me questions. Do you know about this? Why do you think this is that? I can't go there if this is that. And then the chaplain is like, did she talk to you about we're going to start admitting people under the bridge? And if the person under the bridge needs shots or medications, we have to take them to a gas station and give them shots and medications. And I'm like, no, she didn't tell me that. So as time came, I don't even think it was 3 weeks. Before even 3 weeks, she was just all over the place. She was like, why don't you go over there and do this? Go. So she had sent me to an admission on one day. The lady, in order for the lady to stay and be effective in everything that we were doing for her, she needed a very expensive medication to keep her mental state managed, keep her from going into psychosis. And I told the supervisor, I said, okay, she needs these 3 medications to keep her from being homicidal and suicidal. And she was like, no, she's not getting that. So we locked this lady away in a community housing area. It was about 5 or 6 people in this housing area. We locked her away. Before a couple weeks even passed, she told me that they had leased several houses in different suburban areas in Dallas, and they're going to the psych wards. And when people are exiting the psych wards that don't have family or anything that's keeping up with them, they're snatching these people from these psych facilities and putting them into these neighborhood homes where nobody can find them. And the family, whatever family they could call is out of town, and they've been so psyched out for so long that the family is living their lives, and this person is just lost in the neighborhood and nobody's checking on them. So I'm seeing all of this, and I was like, oh no, I just admitted this lady with these psych issues, and they're refusing to get her medicines. So after like a week, I went back to the same location where I admitted the psych lady, and I looked in her med profile to see if she had medicines available. They literally refused to give her medications, and I was like, I gotta go. Because when crap hit the fan, I'm going to be in trouble. I'm the one that told them that she had everything to qualify, but the supervisor wouldn't order the medications. So I quit. I quit that job. And I was like, okay. It was just so much. It was so much, y'all. Basically, all I'm saying for the last 38 minutes is that I was up under so much persecution. The next job I got, they were breaking the patient's ribs. It was a nursing home that I got a job at. They were breaking their ribs. They were having lacerations, like you could tell that the person was trying to, stop them, defensive wounds. And I'm like, what's going on? Why is all these cuts and stuff on the back of their hands? And I was like, why am I keep having to come to work and patch people up? This is kind of weird. And dementia lady, a lady had dementia. She couldn't really speak. She was in her 50s. She was kind of young, and she was like pointing to the CNA, and she was doing like this, like the CNA would beat her up. And I was like, and I looked at the CNA, and she put her head down like she wasn't doing nothing. And I was like, could she be saying that she's abused? It was a Friday, so I went into the administrative office, and I said, they kept been passing around this sheet of paper. If you know anybody that's abused, you have to report it. If you know anybody that was abused, you have to report it. If anybody complaining of being abused, you have to report it. So every time I saw a bruise on somebody, or if I saw a new cut I would take a picture of it and send it to the administrator and document it in my notes. You know, this person has these wounds and cuts, and I don't know where they came from. They, you know, they weren't here yet the other day before. They was just here now. And what I did, I cleaned it up and I patched it up. Well, I went and I told them, I said, you know, this lady, Robin, she said that the CNA is beating her up. They was like, get out of here. She don't even talk. How you going to say she's accusing somebody of doing something to her and she can't even talk? This is a Friday. You're going to try to keep me here all night. And I was like, I backed out of the office like, what kind of place is this? And I prayed about it. I was like, God, I know for a fact you sent me here. Because when I came in, it was black. It was dark. It was black. It was gloomy. It was, I mean, it was just, I felt like I was being wrapped around in a deep, dark blanket, just standing there as I walked into the place. And then somebody said, may I help you? And I was like, oh yeah, I wanted to see if you guys are hiring this, that, and the other. He was like, oh yeah, just give me a second. And he went in the office. And when he went in the office, I looked around and was trying to like feel what I felt just a few seconds ago, and it was gone. It brightened up. It was lighter. It was brightened up in the place. And I was like, that's strange. I know. I just felt like a cloud of black just covered me. So I went in and took the job because God was like, he tells me, you know, go ahead, you know, don't refuse, don't resist. Do what I tell you. So I got the job, and sure enough, they were beating up the people, beating them up. Last person that finally, when they got used to me and they saw that I was caring and I was taking care of them and bandaging all their wounds and reporting what I was supposed to. This is the week before I left that job. The lady that complained about being roughed up and beat up, she came to me and she had blood coming down her arm. She said, I told you she and when I looked up and she's peeking out the door like, yeah, I did, you know, get over here. And I was like, oh my God. So I cleaned her off and I closed up her wound, and I told them, you know, she complained about the same person doing something to her. They was like, you're lying. And I was like, I'm lying? You're lying. Nobody did anything to her. She can't even talk. So I had to report to, when somebody's hurt, you have to report to their family or whoever that you can call and contact that the person belonged to and tell them, hey, you know, I found a bruise, or hey, I found a cut. So I called this lady's people. She was a guardian. She had a guardian. She was a ward of the state because she didn't have any children. She didn't have a husband. She didn't have any family. So the guardian of the state was like, you better tell me the truth. What happened to her? And I was like, she complained that the, you know, CNA was doing something to her, and I wrote and I told them that what she said, and they didn't do anything. And this week she came up with this bleeding wound that I taped up, and you know, you need to check about it. She was like, I'm gonna do more than check. So I was like, okay. I hung up the phone. I wasn't gonna lie at all. So after that, they were pissed because I called the guardian like I was supposed to. They were pissed. So a man in a wheelchair, he crawls up to me, you know, in the wheelchair, and he says, I'm hurting. And I said, what happened? What do you mean you hurt? He was like, right here. He was touching his rib cage. And I said, well, what's going on with your rib cage? I'm hurting. He wouldn't tell me what happened. He was clear in his mind, but he wouldn't tell what happened because he could be really ornery, and I'm sure that CNA punched him in his ribs as hard as she could. I'm sure she punched him in whatever he did. She punched him in his ribs. So from Nigeria, she's from Africa somewhere. She punched him in the ribs. White man. And I was like, I called the doctor and I called the administrators, and they was like, just put another pain patch on. Just put another pain patch. And I said, well, you want another pain patch? He lifted up his shirt and he had all these pain patches. And it was like, well, just give him a narcotic. He said, no, I don't want none of that. I want to go to the hospital. This is a man who never wanted to go to the hospital. He would fake sometimes, like he needed something for a respiratory treatment or something. And I'm like, you want to go to the hospital? And he's like, no. And he would scurry back to his room like, ugh, I don't want to go to the hospital. He was like, yes, I need to go to the hospital. So I sent him. I called everybody because they said don't send anybody to the hospital. If they ask to go to the hospital, they can't go. So a nurse practitioner was walking down the hall. I said, could you go ask him about his pain and why he want to go to the hospital and make sure he want to go to the hospital? So she came out. She says he wants to go to the hospital. So I wrote and I said, hey, he told the nurse practitioner, I had, witnesses like he wanted to go to the hospital. It wasn't just me. So he went to the hospital, and as I was leaving work, they came in to bring him back from the hospital. He had 2 broken ribs. So the person I relieved, I'm like, okay, he got the packet, he got the patient, the patient or whatever, left and went home. 8 o'clock in the morning, they called me. You're suspended. And I said, why am I suspended? Because you let him come back from the hospital with fractures and didn't tell us. I said, no, I didn't let him come back from the hospital or anything. was relieved of my shift. Well, you're suspended until we investigate what happened. I said, okay. I politely hung up with them, got on the phone with unemployment, and I said, hey, this is the situation. These people are abusing people. And they're suspending me because the patient came back after my shift, and I didn't tell them that he was back with 2 fractured ribs. Then she said, well, the unemployment said, well, how was it your fault? I said, it wasn't, but you can do your investigation and find out. So she did her investigation, and I got my unemployment for how many ever months. I rested on that. So basically, I'm coming down to this point. 1, you have to be obedient. I know we have all these manifestation channels and do this and do this. You can manifest this and you can manifest that. If you're not attached to God, and if you don't have a relationship with God, you got a relationship with Satan. If you think you're going to manifest something and you don't have a relationship with God, you have a relationship with Satan. You can get what you want from Satan. That means you're going to exchange your soul for the things that you want and desire. You cannot get anything manifested if you're not willing to be told what to do and be obedient to God. 1, he told me not to sell my house. Every time I tried to, I got like 3 people to come and, let's get ready to sell my house. Let's get ready to sell my house. And every time I did, I got anxiety. I felt wiped out. And I think that's when I would get one diagnosis. Either it was COVID-1, and then the anemia. I was so weak. And then after the anemia, I got COVID again, and then I got shingles. Every time I tried to sell that doggone house, I got sick. Now, if that didn't tell me something along the way, what would have? And I was like, you know what? Every time I try to sell this house or something, everything goes wrong. I'm going to try one more time. And then the anxiety was like, you're being hard. It was distinct. It was like, you're being hard-headed. There's nothing for you to do. Let it fall away, surrender. I pretty much surrendered the house. I ended up going to the shelter. I gave away most of my possessions on the front lawn to the neighbors and whoever, felt like they needed something or wanted something. I just let them pick through it. Let them have it. It's just physical things. I'm not a materialistic person anyway. I have beautiful things, but I don't have anything that I'm not willing to share with anyone. Even my home, I share with people who needed housing. So, that was never an issue. Then when I ended up in the worst case scenario in a shelter where I'm like, okay, me and my dog in the shelter. So we did that. Now I'm at the Motel 6. I've been at the Motel 6 November, December, January, February, March, April, 6 months. And it's like, It just went by. It's going by so quick. So I've been here, and I looked for an apartment. I went to an apartment that I was going to get an apartment. I'm like, okay, I got everything set up, my work history and, this, that, and the other. I got everything set up. I got paperwork to send, and, I had a home, and I always paid my rent, and I always paid my mortgage and all this stuff, rental history type stuff. I went there, and something told me, you're going to get into a contract with this apartment complex. Why would you want to do that? You'll owe them. If there's any reason you need to get out of this contract, it was just, I was feeling resistance again, even in that. And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna stay at the Motel 6. So I'm staying at the Motel 6, peaceful, quiet, peaceful, putting the AC on 60 every night. Every day the AC is on 60. I got plenty of space in this room. I got me and my dog. Just sleeping good, feeling like I need to heal. So February comes, and I have to leave this job. I'm aching. I'm not feeling 100% myself. I'm drained because of this lady's toxic ways and behaviors. Then I got my direct supervisor writing me up for a snowstorm. And they had huge water bugs running all over the place every night. And I'm not a person that like bugs at all. Not at all. I don't like water bugs. And jumping and running from water bugs every night, or wondering if one of them gonna fly on me, or I was just like terrified, being harassed, and being written up for nothing. I was like, and God was like, why are you doing this? And I was like, I don't know. You don't trust me? And I was like, yes, I trust you. Well, if you trust me, you wouldn't be going to a job that's taking you through things that, you're striving, you're hurting, you're not sleeping, you're aching all over, and you still going to this job and they're mistreating you. That's not self-love. So I put my 2 weeks in, left. And I said, you know what? It's time for me to get a good look at my health. See if my hemoglobin came up. Well, I knew it did because I had like electric shocks going through my teeth as my blood was low. The whole mouth, I was just always constant, just nerves, just crazy pain all in my mouth. If I drink something warm, nerves. If I drink something cool, nerves. If I drink something, it was just painful. So that subsided. So I got all my lab work done. I got all my lab work done because I've always been a person that's healthy and goes to the gym 4 or 5 times a week before COVID, even before my car accident, but especially after my car accident, because having your core tight when you have a spine injury is pivotal to your ability to walk and ability to work and ability to perform just regular stuff like stooping or sitting or bending over, twisting, looking. So I got that back intact before COVID, very much so. COVID came, they closed the gyms, so I was already having pain from that. And then all the other issues that was going on. So I'm like, okay, Got my labs done. It said I'm in stage 2 kidney disease. It says my inflammatory markers were up. My cholesterol was slightly elevated. All my hormones were down, of course, because I'm already perimenopausal, now postmenopausal. So that was normal. It's normal to see the hormones change at that point. But what wasn't right was the inflammatory response all over my body. The fact that my kidneys were going into stage 2 kidney failure, stage 2 kidney disease. I was holding fluid all over my body because sometimes I would take a picture, a selfie, and my whole face would be big. And I'm like, looking at the picture like, why would I look like that? why am I like that? And I was like, nobody around here told me anything. You know, people at work, I'm like, nobody told me anything about me being swollen or nothing. And I was like, Once I got my labs, I knew it was my kidneys. It was starting to fail. And I was insulin resistant. My hemoglobin A1C was 5.9. It should be at 5.7 or below. So that was a little elevated. But my body was just going through, dealing with things and dealing with people that I shouldn't have never been dealing with, trying to throw off signals, smoke signals to me, help, I need help. And here I am working and trying to be able to pay, for my rent at Motel 6 and trying to stay afloat. So God was like, do you trust me? And I was like, I trust you. Found out all this, went on a ketogenic diet. I started fasting immediately. I went on OMAD, 1 meal a day. So I've been doing this for over a month now, and I've lost 20 pounds. I haven't gotten my lab work done yet because I still want to make sure I'm completely healed up. My kidneys are completely healed before I just go dropping money on it. All my regular vitamins and minerals and things like that were optimal. My blood levels was almost optimal. My hemoglobin was 12.8, but I'm usually 14. So that's coming up like it should. That's coming back up to my normal, and I feel really energetic. I feel really good. I'm not hurting all over the way I was when I was working. So basically, if you read the Bible, read scriptures, almost an hour in now. If you read the Bible in Mark 10:29 through 30 and Luke 18:29-30, Jesus promises that anyone who has left houses, wife, for the sake of the kingdom of God will receive many times as much in this life, along with persecution and eternal life in the age to come. Now, persecution is something nobody's going to ever get around. You're never going to get around persecution, and you're probably always going to be tested. Like, say, for instance, I was called this week, last week because it's Sunday. I was called this week for 2 jobs because I've started applying for jobs. One job wanted me to use my car to drive all around and didn't want to give them any money to pay for all this. They didn't have any area specifically they wanted me to go to. They just said all over. You're not paying enough for anybody to drive out their car in Texas, where you're going to get your windshield broken. You're going to have your tires going to go in the nails because of all the construction. You're going to be fixing flat tires every couple of months. You're going to be fixing your dash windshield every couple of months. You're going to be getting an oil change every couple of months. You're going to be busting up struts, ball joints, and everything. I had to get my axle fixed the last time. I was like, okay, so they're not paying enough. So when she said, you're going to be riding everywhere, I said, you're going to give a company car? So that interview didn't go forward. She was like, oh yeah, we're going to have no, we don't have a car for you. But then she turned around and was like, no, we already hired somebody. It was because I asked about a car. I was like, that's fine. I'm not going to be mistreated and treated like crap and run my car down and then not have, or somebody in Dallas hit it without insurance, and then I need a whole new car, and they're not going to help me. They're just going to say, oh, well, we'll get somebody else to work this job. And then you'll be out without a car and without a job. No. The other job called, and he was like, oh, yeah, we have this job in Irving, Texas, and it looks like you're going to be a good fit. Do you know this specific EMR, this computer system? I said, no, but I know a lot of computer systems, and it's easy for me to learn. He was like, well, they're not going to hire you. If you don't know this system, they're not going to hire you. I said, okay, sir, that's fine. That's fine. Thank you so much for calling. No, but I'm going to forward you anyway. They're really light. They're working really light over there. They really need help. I said, but you just said that they won't accept my experience because I don't have experience with their computer. He said, I know. But, and he kept saying, I said, is it a facility? No, it's a community. Do you live near this community? I said, I don't live far away. Are you sure? Do you live 60 miles with it? He just kept going on. I was so annoyed. I said, okay, sir, you already said that I would be driving for this job. You already said that they don't want my experience, that they would not accept me. And now you ask me if I live nearby. I told you I live close enough, and I'm driving anyway. I said, you know what, sir? Thank you so much for calling. And I hung up the phone. I had to literally hang up because he was like, wait, you don't know how much they're paying. I didn't tell you how much they're paying. I said, sir, you don't have to tell me how much they're paying. That's fine. Thank you. Bye. And hung up. So it was a test. It was a test to find out where I am mentally. No matter what happens at this point, you cannot get upset. You cannot get annoyed. You cannot. And then after I spoke to these two people, my nephew happened to call me. And I'm talking to him. I said, this man can't even get the words out of his mouth. He already told them. He already told me that I wouldn't qualify for the job, but yet he's going to try to get me to work the job anyway. And he kept me on the phone 10 minutes. He didn't know if it was a facility or he didn't know. He didn't pull my resume. He didn't do anything. One, I shouldn't have ever complained to my nephew. Two, I told the man thank him. I thanked him, but I was annoyed. And two, you don't get annoyed. You don't get emotional. You just kind of take things as they go. You accept them and you move on. I accept that they didn't have the job for me. I accept that the other job texted me and said, never mind, we have somebody for this position, because they want somebody that can use, abuse, and then pocket the money. Then the other place, the agency type thing, he couldn't give me the information, and they wanted me to work their computer system. So I was like, okay, I'm fine with it. So, I repented for my being annoyed, and I called my nephew and apologized, and I told him, this is not, if I'm being a role model to you and anyone else, I shouldn't have complained about that man, and I should have said he kept saying and not giving me the information. That's judgmental. That's kind of making them seem like a delete. And I was like, gee, and that's where the ego comes up, because I was just like so frustrated with these possibilities. Like, what are y'all trying to do? Y'all hurting these nurses out here on the road. Y'all hurting them and replacing them. Y'all hurting the CNAs and replacing them. And I'm like, okay. And God is just watching me. And I'm like, okay. If this is what it's I was like, God, I'm sure you'll provide the right opportunity. I trust you. First, I took my resume down, and I was like, nope, I'm going to put my resume back up, because God already knows that I'm not going to just take any job for the money, and I'm not so desperate that I'm going to run my wheels off and get busted tires and busted windshields, and the money they give me is going to be going into the car to keep the car up. So he knows that I'm not desperate, and I'm not seeking money. I just want to be able to work and help people. That's what I always wanted to do. That's all what I've done for the last 26 years. More than that, really. I've always helped people and been a service. And so basically, let me read the scripture again. It says, Jesus promises that anyone who has left houses or a wife for the sake of the kingdom of God will receive many times as much in this life, along with persecutions. That's not gonna stop. You're still gonna be tested, and you still need to be ready to not be judgmental, not be mean. You still have to be kind and use your spiritual fruit. And also, be in meditation in the morning, and meditation in the afternoon, and meditation at night with God. Because in the morning, he sets you straight for your entire day. And then midday, you can go in and meditate to get a little bit of boost, to be ready for what confronts you during the day. And then at night, you can close yourself down really, really well if you can meditate for a few minutes. When I meditate, I don't even dream. It's like somebody put me out on anesthetics, because I am gone. I am not aware of this physical world, my physical body, my environment. Everything disappeared. Everything disappeared. I sleep so deep and so hard at this Motel 6. So, and he says that, and eternal life, you have eternal life in the age to come. Now, metaphysically, in the age to come means the transition from a state of temporal, moral existence to an eternal, perfected reality where the limitations of the physical world are overcome. And that's just where I'm at today. I feel like I'm right at the door, and I've been at the door so many times, or just halfway across the bridge so many times, and then I would do something. I would do something to go back. I would go back. I'll fall back. You know, with selling the house, every time I got a realtor, I felt myself fall back. When I would get sick and then I would recover and try to go back to work and try to strive hard, I would fall back. I kept falling back. Fell back like 4 times, and then fell back 4 times with the going forward to selling the house. Fell back. But since the house collapsed, I have not fell back. And if I do, it's small infractions, like when the man called and I, was a little bit impatient with him giving me the information, or getting a little annoyed with him. That's a part of it. And then the other lady, when she was like, oh yeah, we're gonna run you all over the place, we're gonna do this, are you gonna give me a car? She's like, no. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, okay, that was a test. Now I need to be aware of my emotions and where are they coming from. I'm not desperate. I really don't care what happened at this point. I really literally don't care what happened. I literally am not attached to anything. I'm so grateful that my car is paid for, and my job provided me enough money to get through. But I don't even care about that anymore. I don't care if I'm running literally on fumes. I don't care. I literally don't care. I'm totally surrendered. Whatever God takes from me, whatever it is, I accept it. I accept it because it's for my good. Okay, so in the age to come is the transition from a state of temporal, mortal existence to an eternal, perfected reality where the limitations of the physical world are overcome. So, coming up to this day, I'm in this Motel 6. I know that my money does not come from the money that I have in the bank. I know that my money does not come from the jobs that I've had. I know the money is just a physical thing in the universe, just like I am presenting like a physical thing. I am equal to money. It's a thing. I am a thing. Even though I'm a person, I'm still a thing. I'm a form in this, and money is like a form. And the whole existence is an illusion anyway. So why would you run around trying to get something that's not even real? You're running and killing yourself. Your health going down the drain because you're running after paper that you are way more important than. The human soul is more important than any physical value on this earth. Therefore, I stay in my meditations, and it's helping me, and I sleep well, and it's making me pay attention more, and making me understand that even though I have pretty much used all the money in my bank account, I trust God. If I don't even want to say if, because if you're living in the present, you wouldn't be saying if. If you're living in the present moment, you would not be saying if tomorrow, if this, if that. There's no such thing as if. Either it's happening now or it's not. So right now, I'm at peace. I am content in this moment. I'm doing my update. I still read my scripture and apply it to what's going on in my life. It came to me today. All these manifestation heroes on YouTube is telling people lies. and they're selling a service. If you don't have a one-on-one relationship with God, and if you can't hear him tell you to do this, do that, don't do this, don't do this, if you don't feel in your spirit when to move and when not to move, if you don't obey him, he gonna slap you across your face and make you sick 100 times until you die. If you don't want to be that disobedient, he'll take his breath from you. And then what? You won't get this experience. You'll just be gone. He's not gonna play around with you. If he chose you and he called you, and you know he called you, you better get with the program. You better think about what he's doing in your life. And you better think about why he's doing it. Because he has a plan for you. It might not look like it. It might look like your house, you just lost the house. House don't really exist. It's an illusion. You might feel, oh, you lost your business. Okay, the business is gone. That was an illusion. That was something I was using a creative talent that I had to breed dogs. I loved it. It was great. It was fun. Okay, all your furniture and all your great design items are gone. So what? I can do that again. And even on the longest journey, looking around, I've seen the things that I can replace it with even better if that's what I wanted to do. So it's going on. I don't have any attachments. I don't have any attachments to family. I don't have any attachments to friends. I don't have any attachments to anything in this physical world. Do I love my family? I love my family just like I love my spiritual family, which is everybody in the world. I love anybody and everybody that comes. I love everybody. I love everybody and everything. I love everything that God has created. I love animals and I love butterflies. I love going to the lake every day, which I went to the lake. Just came from the lake today. I love nature. I don't like bugs crawling on me. I do like ladybugs and butterflies. So that's a conflict to me, because how do you like when a butterfly or a dragonfly come around you or come near you, and then or if a ladybug crawl on you, but you're scared of cockroaches? I can't make sense of that. But that's what it is. God gonna help me understand as I go in the by and by. But so yeah, that's the update. That is the update. It's been a lot going on, and I'm right there at the cusp again. I'm right there, and there's nothing I can do but acknowledge that I'm now in. It's more of a dimensional thing. Instead of just thinking you can manifest not having a relationship with God and this thing, you have to have a good connection. Yes, you have to have a good connection with God to know what to do, when to do, how to do, what not to do. And you have to be ready to take his quizzes and his tests. He has plenty of tests, big and small. One of the things I just looked up before I started this YouTube was that the fact that I don't dream. And I haven't dreamed in years. And when I did dream, it wasn't good. But I'm not a person that have dreams. And somebody told me, you don't dream? That you need to, that's not good. Everybody should dream. Well, I looked it up. Come to find out, people who dream are closer to psychological breakdowns. They can lose their sanity. If you have frequent dreams, you can lose your sanity. We are humans are very, very fragile when it comes to their mental health. And I didn't know that, but I just happened to look up Sadhguru, and he's like, dreams. If you have dreams, you better be careful. When you have lucid dreams, if you wake up and you can't tell if you're dreaming from, can't tell your dream from real life, then you're insane. I was like, dang. But anyway, and he said, if you don't have any dreams, consider yourself very mentally healthy. You're very mentally strong. I was like, great. That's me. So what else? So I'm on the cusp again, and I can't go. I don't fret about things that happened in the past. I've had plenty of things that has happened in the past. I don't worry about it. I don't go into it, and I don't think about it. And if something does come up from the past, I quickly start deep breathing, and I'm paying attention to how I feel the air swirling up in my sinuses, going down into my lungs, swirling in my lungs, my diaphragm coming up, what it feels like coming through my lungs, back up my trachea, out my mouth. By the time I finish doing that series, I'm not thinking about the past, and I'm not thinking about the future. I can't plan. Every time I've planned, I would have been retiring next year, I think. I think next year. If COVID didn't happen, I would have retired from my job next year. I would have had all my money saved. I would have did all my dog breeding. I would have did all these wonderful things, and I would have been just completely ready to retire. Well, how about what if God retired me right now? What if I never go back to work? You never know. You never know. God's plan is always better than your plan. He has his plan. When he wants to sit you down, just like when I got into that really bad car accident, I was anxious to get to work that day. I was hurrying up, trying to grind and get to work. It was just horrible. And then wham, he slowed me down for an entire year. And I laid there, and he showed me so many things, and I just could not believe. He gave me so many revelations as I was taking ibuprofen most of the time, which is probably what compromised my kidneys in the first place. So after the accident, and I recuperated and got myself all the way back together and went to the gym 5 times a week. During COVID, when the gyms closed, I started having pain, so I started taking ibuprofen. And all that time, I'm only in stage 2 kidney disease, or stage 2 kidney failure. All that time, I had been taking ibuprofen, and I've been hurting and swollen and aching and can't walk, and I'll get up in the night to use the restroom, and my feet, couldn't stand on my feet. And I'm like, this is crazy. So I was taking ibuprofen. Ibuprofen was killing my kidneys. So it's been a long time. The body is very resilient, but I'm so grateful to God that my kidneys is making a comeback. I'm so grateful to God. I threw out every ibuprofen I had. I threw it out. I threw it away. And I was like, I haven't ached since I've been going back to the gym. I've been back to the gym more than 2 months now, and I'm doing HIIT. I'll do a HIIT training, a fasted HIIT training, and then I'll do weights. And then after that, I'll do a steady state cardio, which is walking on a treadmill for like 20 minutes. So 20 minutes of a HIIT, a full weightlifting session, and then I would do my 20 minutes of a regular slow pace walking on the treadmill. So all of that has really got me. I have no pain. I am not aching. I have not had to have any ibuprofen or anything like that. Excuse me. I've been taking, with keto, I've been taking my electrolytes because I did get like a slight headache the other day. So I started drinking a lot of water and taking my electrolytes, because you lose a lot of water that you don't realize you're losing with ketosis. So did that, and I'm 20 pounds down, and my goal is to probably like another 25 pounds, and just get to a very, very, very nice number. And I looked in the storage unit. I have no clothes, and it's good because I've been trying to. I have clothes, they're too small. I have size 12s, and I'm in a 14 now. But I'm slowly coming down. I think I even probably went up to 16 with all the swelling going back and forth. But I didn't know, because I was wearing, my dresses or whatever to work, my regular uniform stuff that I would wear to work. So I didn't see the change, but so I'll be able to, get to where I want my goal weight. And it took me a while to be motivated to do that. After all the pain and swelling and inflammation, I prayed for months. Before I even left my job, I was praying like, God, please get me back to the gym. Please get me back to the gym. Give me the lifestyle that I used to have. I used to wake up in the morning, 5 o'clock, before COVID. Wake up in the morning, 5 o'clock, get with my girls at the gym. We were all the same age. It was about 5 or 6 of us. We enjoyed meeting there. We would do our workout for an hour, and then we would see each other next day. We were there like 4 or 5 times a week, and we always looked for each other. So it was a good community. It was solid. It was fun. Man, it was so supportive. And then not having that at all, it made it really hard getting back into the routine. But now I'm back into the routine, and I'm not going to stop the routine, because I need the routine. Mental health is so important, and the best way to attack your mental health is in the gym. The best way to keep your natural high, is get them endorphins going. Get them endorphins going, and keep your body together. Keep your body and your mind together, and you don't have to worry about inflammation or blood clots or anything like that. Your fibroids will be happy if you have any. Hopefully you don't. Yeah, it's been wild. So I got an insurance policy that I would pay out of pocket. Come to find out at the first of the year, that was faulty. Could not find a doctor that take that insurance through the Obamacare, Marketplace insurance. So that was a fluke, because I really want to possibly have a surgery. But at this stage, it says that if I'm in 5D, I'm no longer seeking. I am healed and whole, and no longer, and have no desire or longing to seek anything. And if I'm transitioning the way I should from the state of temporal and mortal existence to an eternal perfected reality where the limitations of the physical world have been overcome, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to go see a doctor for a surgical consult. I don't have to be concerned about having surgery or health insurance, because I'm not even going to be I'm almost not even existing. I'm going to overcome all these physical things. So I'm excited about that. And I'm just going to restate, don't think that you can't, it's levels to this. There's several dimensions. Let's see. Let me briefly go over what I got here. Let me see. So there's several dimensions. 3D is Earth. 3D is Earth. And you know, by living on Earth, 3D is a lower level of consciousness. 3D is trouble on every side. 3D is striving to make a living. How you gonna pay your rent? Credit cards, car notes, mortgage. 3D is 3D'ing. You hear me? 3D is 3D'ing. Life is lifing over here. People are having their egos and they're shooting each other, and it's really bad. It's a place of effort, a place of emotional instability, trauma, struggle, constant movement. It's just a bad chasing money, greed, systems. You got the government systems, the city system, the law, the justice system. You got the Democrats. You got all the religious corporates, the religious false prophets. You got all the scamming. You got people calling your phone and sending you all kinds of spam mail, not spam, scam, or even spam, I guess, spam text about doing this and doing that, and advertisement on your phone. We used to just not even have to do that when you had a bungee cord phone. You do not call list. There was a do not call list. Now they're gonna call you no matter what. They're gonna call you. We got social media keeping people distracted. We got the doggone president in all kinds of trouble, and they making distractions every chance they get, so you won't want to ask for the Epstein files. That's 3D. 4D is a higher level of consciousness than 3D. In order to get the 4D, you have to relinquish, unattached to everything that you've been taught since the day you were born. You have to understand your name. It's just something that's used. It's not a big deal. However, I looked up my name. My name is Shanti, which means spiritual balance between the spirit, soul, spirit, physical, and what else? Mind. I wrote it down, and I was ecstatic. I was ecstatic. It means balance on all three planes. That's what my name means. So I was excited about that, but I'm not gonna get an ego about it. Titles. You got to get rid of titles. If you're a lawyer, you're a police, you got to get rid of those titles. You can't have an ego connected to those titles. Also, what other thing? You got to get rid of cultural beliefs. You got to get rid of that you're black, white, Mexican, red, white, blue. You got to get rid of all that. You have to love everybody equally. We're all human, and we're all here to have an experience. That's it. You have to love everybody. You cannot have judgment or prejudice or anything like that. That is hate. That is hate. You cannot get out of 3D with hate. You cannot get out of 3D if you run around saying black man, black girl, black woman, black girls rock, white trash, white devils, spics, Mexicans. You can't do that. That's 3D. You can't do none of that. You can't run around saying, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, and oh my gosh, you're doing that to me? I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer. That's 3D. You cannot do that in 4D. What else is in 4D? It's you have to do your shadow work. That's in 3D. You do your shadow work, a lot of shadow work, and stuff. That's when you actually going into 4D if you're doing shadow work. Psychology, because 4D is dealing with your thoughts, emotions, and your thoughts and your emotions take center stage. Your beliefs, your unseen perspectives, psychology, self-reflection, and personal development goes through the 4D. You have to get all the way through. You have to get through all your shadows. You have to get through all your trauma. Your daddy left you, your child left you, your brother left you, your mama was killed, your mama was on crack, she left you in the crack house. That can't go into 5D. You have to get through the mazes in your mind, all through it, through the 4D. You cannot overanalyze your experiences of the past. Then you got to get past overanalyzing your experience in the past. You got to get over searching for meaning in every emotion you get. Oh, I'm sick. Why am I sick? Oh, I'm mad. Why am I sad? Oh, I'm sad. I'm angry. Why did I get angry? You have to get through all of that. Emotions are for survival instinct. If you're in a burning building, your instinct is supposed to tell you to exit that building. You're not supposed to be popping off with every individual and everything that goes on in life. You're not supposed to have road rage. That's not what your emotions are for. Your emotions and your feelings are to save your life. If you're not in a life-threatening situation, you should not be popping off emotions of anger and annoyance and cussing people out and this, that, and the other, and doing everything else that's written in the scripture for you not to do. It's a high level of obedience in 4D. Let's see. You have to come to a new realization that you're not your emotions, you're not your thoughts, or your identity. It's way beyond all of that. You have to give up all your form. If you have something in your life that if you leave your house and somebody rob you of it and you have an issue with it, then you have an attachment. You have to get rid of all your attachments. If I get out of this car tonight and somebody take this car, I'm going to have to accept that. I'm going to have to accept that somebody took my car. I have insurance. I don't have full coverage because I'm not even driving or doing anything. I'm not even working right now. So why would I have full coverage if my car is not even moving except for maybe to the grocery store, to the lake, and back here to the Motel 6 and to the library? I don't travel in high peak times, so, but I'm not attached to this car. I'm grateful that I have it, but I'm not attached to it. So 4D is losing all your attachments. Let's see. If you have a husband or a wife, you cannot be attached to them. You can love them like you should love black, white, green, blue, dog, bird, tree, grass, flower, everything God's created. But if that man or if that husband or that wife walk out the door and never come back, you should not be having a breakdown, because that's where your emotions is going to be tested. Things that you think that you love so much and that you wanted so much, go into the 4D. It's going to be taken, or it's going to be, you're going to be tested. You're going to be tested. Some people got to die. I don't mean to say that, but you're going to be tested, and it could be to the extent that you love that thing over God is the extent that thing got to go. If you love something and you're not putting your time in with God, that means you love everything else in this physical existence over God. So therefore, it's on the line to be taken. Let's see. What else? Your identity. So you can't, somebody step on your foot. You stepped on my shoe. No. You forgive them. They're going to say, oh, pardon me, or they might. They might not. You need to understand and be an acceptance that happened to you, because that's a test. If you go off and you think that you're important because somebody stepped on your foot, then you're the one with the problem. You're the one with the problem because you're emotional about something that you shouldn't be emotional about. So that means you're in the 3D. You're not in the 4D. So things are going to consistently happen to test where you're at consciously. Are you leveling up? Are you ascending up? And it's not necessarily mean that you're going up, because all these dimensions are just, it's like just levels of consciousness. It's not less that you're getting higher than anyone else. It's just you are at a different level of consciousness. So you won't be in polarity. You won't say, I hate this, I love that. Opposites is living in opposites. Polarity is living in opposites. Duality is living in opposites. You can't say, oh yeah, I'm going to get up at 8 o'clock, and then 8 o'clock comes, you hit the alarm. You have to learn to keep your word to yourself. You have to learn not to say, oh, I'm going to get up and I'm going to do. You're lying. You cannot. That's 3D. You can't be in 4D lying. So it's best not to say anything. It's best to just be quiet. If something happened, be quiet. Don't go on social media, because you're going to be triggered to say something or do something that takes you out of the 4D. You're going to be straight up in 3D. They're going to have somebody crippled doing something weird. You need to not judge that individual, not laugh, just come off social media, because social media is going to be a biggest distraction, and things is going to keep you knocked down in lower levels of consciousness. Let's see, what else? Lack and limitation. Always checking your bank account, always saying I ain't got this, I ain't got that. That's living in polarity, because if you really understand what's going on in this realm, you would know that the universe is the universe. It's one thing. It's not what it seems. The universe is the universe. If God created money and He created you, you're His creation. You're higher than that. Your soul is higher than anything that could be created in this existence, because this existence and this experience was made for you. So if something was made for you, you are the created and you are the creator. If you don't understand that in your mind, if you don't increase your level of consciousness to get to that point, no one on these manifestation channels are not going to be able to help you do it. They're going to take your money and they're going to tell you what you should do. And if you can't maintain it because you haven't earned it, then you're not going to keep it. You're not going to keep any wealth. You're not going to keep anything that you manifested and you didn't do the real work. If you take a shortcut, then you're going to risk losing it. If you work with the devil and you sell yourself to the devil and he give you riches and all the things that you always desired, then you can have those things. But you're going to also be sleeping with Satan. You're also going to be with a narcissist. You're going to be with the whole dark plan. So it's up to you to make these choices, to level up in the dimensions, get to these dimensions, through these dimensions, fair and square. What else? In the 4D, you cannot plan. I'm going to do this in my future. Remember I was going to retire and I had all this money that I was going to save, and all my business was going so well, and I was going to sell these dogs, and it's over. It's over. God says He knows the plans that He has for you, and you can do nothing without Him. That tells you, when He say your daily bread, He talking about right now. 24 hours is what you can plan for. And you really can't plan for that. You have to live moment by moment in the presence. But, if you say, okay, I got to get up in the morning, that's less than 24 hours. So all you got is this narrow window of time to breathe, to eat, to exercise if that's what you want to do, to keep your mind joyful and positive, to help someone that's in your reach, to forgive someone that may have done something to you, to do your shadow work. Let's see. So in the 4D, you realize your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions have direct impact on your experiences. If you don't watch your mind, you'll see it come up. You'll see it come up. It'll things if you watch really carefully. If you have a thought and you're like, oh, have an emotion with it, you've triggered something. You trigger something that's going to show up. So it's best to just be stoic. It's best not to let anything bother you. It's best to stay out of the way. It's best to stay off social media. It's best to stay isolated if you can, because your family members, they're going to trigger you. Some of them. You have to get away from the ones that you know that's going to talk about things or going to gossip or going to say things about people that they shouldn't. You have to move away from those 3D people, because they're not elevating in their consciousness. They are where they're at. And at some point you will be able to go around them and associate with them, but you're not gonna be the same. You're not gonna be the same. And they're gonna expect you to be who you were. They're gonna say you changed, you're not yourself anymore. You're not. Why you didn't think what I just said was funny? Why are you helping that white man off the ground? Whatever the stupidity is in the 4D, you have to level completely up 100% out of it. So there's no past, there's no future. It's only now, it's only presence. Only work on what's happening right now. Okay? Yesterday is gone. Today is a new day. Yeah. So that's 4D. 5D is where I have been hanging out in for a while. 5D is transcendence. It's a state of being, and it's a heart area. 4D is all about the brain, getting that brain together. 5D is getting that heart together, where you detach from emotions. You're no longer tethered to past experiences. You don't need external validation. Oh, girl, you got it. Girl, you look good. Man, what's up? You do? No likes on social media. Don't get hyped on likes on social media anywhere, because that means you're looking for external validation. If you got to dress to a point where somebody, ooh, look at you. Ooh, you look nasty. Ooh, you look good. Ooh, gosh, you look gross. External validation. You're not going to be in 5D if you're doing these things. You're going to be in 3D. Your conscious in 5D, your consciousness shift to the now. Everything is now. You can't say, oh, what if my car is, what if, you can't go to what if, because what if it's not right now. The only thing is right now is you breathing. Right now is traffic on the road, and I'm at the Motel 6 in the parking lot on YouTube. What else is now? That's it. It's almost time for me to get off the phone though. So let's see. What else? What else is in the 5D? Reality ceases to be a struggle in the 5D. You know why? Because you're stoic. You don't care anymore. You don't care. I don't have any clothes. I got this. I got 2 of these. It's a little dress. And I got my old workout stuff that I've been wearing, which is workout stuff, so it's stretched. There's no problem with that. In fact, it's fitting better after 20 pounds. But no new clothes. I got this bracelet. Oh, then I got 2 dresses. 2 summer dresses. But I don't have any desire, so a lot of the things I buy, I return it, because I'm like, why did I buy this? I don't even know what I'm gonna look like, after I'm finished whatever it is that I'm doing. I don't even know. And I'm like, why did I buy this? I'm not even going anywhere, doing anything, Where am I wearing this? What? So I end up taking it back, but sometimes I get bored and I don't have anything to do. That's another thing that goes away. Your impulsivity. You're not as impulsive. You're thinking long and hard. Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do this? No, I'm not going to do that. And you end up not doing it because you have no desire. I have no desire to go out and meet anyone. I have no desire. When I go to the gym, I'm focused on the gym. I don't even give anybody a time to look at me or want to spark. One guy, which this man was probably like 8 feet tall, it seems. He spoke to me and I spoke to him. He seemed really nice and that was okay. But I really try to keep my eyes down, my eyes in my own business. because I don't want to see anything I'm not supposed to see. I don't want to look at somebody and they think I'm wanting to have a conversation. I don't want to do any of that. I'm staying focused on my journey until God tells me I can do otherwise. When he tells me I can do other things, then I'll do other things. Right now it's just me in the gym, and then even posting a resume online had me shook. I was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Am I striving? He didn't tell me to do this. I didn't hear him say do it. Oh my gosh. And then I got those 2 people that call, and they're like, da-da-da-da. And I was like, oh, I shouldn't have put that resume online. He didn't tell me to do it. And then I took it off. And then someone was like, well, what if there is something that he wants you to do? And I was like, he'll provide a way. It don't need to be a resume. My phone number is there. I don't need to do this and that, No, he'll find a way. He will make a way out of no way. I was like, okay, just stop freaking out about everything and go ahead and put your resume back. So I put my resume back on Indeed. But in the 5D, there's no more fixing, the endless cycle, trying to fix your body, trying to fix your all this endless cycle of fixing stops. The healing is going. You're not healing anymore. You did that in 4D, and you identified things in 3D. You're not needing to heal. You're completely healed now. You're not seeking employment. You're not seeking money. You're not seeking attention. You're not being overly greedy on food. Being greedy on food and over obesity and things like that. Greed is greed. That's a sign. If you're being greedy with food, would you be greedy with money? Would you be greedy with, it's a sign. Get it? You have to bring it all around. It has all come together. You cannot be walking around here with pocket loads of money, and when somebody asks you for something, you say no. No, I don't have it. You can't do that. You can do that in 3D, but you can't do that in 4D or 5D. You can't do that. If somebody asks you, the Bible says, if somebody asks you for something, give it to them. If your brother or sister asks you for something, give it to them. Because you don't have any attachment to it. You really don't care. And luckily for me, I've been like that most of my life. I share anything. I pick people up from the bus stop in the cold, and people thought, oh my gosh, she got a brand new car. So get in the car. This God gave me this car to share. God gave me my house to share. God gave me this car to share. God gave me this breath and this life to share. We are put here to help each other, no matter who it is, what it is. Yes, your instinct's going to have you be careful, but if you see a woman that's sitting on somewhere with a kid and it's cold and raining, and you're a woman yourself, wouldn't you want somebody to help you? Yeah, so you help them. All right, so what else about the 5D? You're supposed to be at a state of being. At this point, you're locked in. Like I say, I meditate in the morning, in the afternoon, and the evening. Mostly morning and evening. And I've gotten so good with meditation that I was like, okay, you know what? I'm not sure if I do this right, so I'm going to set a timer for 20 minutes. I set the timer for 20 minutes, and I was saying Om Shanti 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 Om Shanti 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 Om, which means help me get balance. Help me get balance on all 3 planes. Help me get balance on all 3 planes. Help me get balance on all 3 planes. And by the time I finished breathing and saying that, the alarm went off, and I literally, I'm telling you, I felt like I left my body. I was already gone somewhere really, really peaceful, really pleasant, really joyful. And then when the alarm sounded, I literally had to I was jilted, felt like I was jilted back in my body. So you have to get your meditation to that level. You have to get your meditation to that level where you're outside of time. You don't know that time has passed and you're outside of time. You have no idea that you're outside of time. And when the alarm go off, it feels like 3 minutes and it's been 20, 30 minutes. So, well, you got his crack out. You got his pants falling down and his butt hanging out. I ain't judging you, sir. I just noticed I saw crack. Anyway, but yeah, so you get back, you get your meditation on track really well in 5D. you're keeping your word. You're going to go to the gym. You go to the gym. You know, I say I'm going to the gym at least twice a week. That's all. You say minimal, then you're not lying to yourself. I'm going to the gym tomorrow. And then I usually go 4 days a week. I'll go Monday and do my routine. And then on Tuesday, I might do some just walking and stretching. And then on Thursday, I'll do some walking and stretching again. And then on Friday, I'll hit the weights, the whole routine again. So, but minimum twice a week. And I'm doing that. And I'm proud of that. And it's paying off. And I'm staying in ketosis really well. And I managed, like this weekend, I enjoyed some snacks and stuff. And some food, but I'm going to be sinking back into ketosis the next 48 hours and make sure I drink plenty of water and take my electrolytes. Let's see. So in 5D, we're functioning as the detached witness. It's a stoic. You see everything that's going on. You hear everything that's going on, but you're not interacting. So if you stuck on social media reels, if you're going in and out on social media, you need not go on social media and be in them comments, because you're going to end up in 3D. You're going to end up in 3D. You're going to end up saying things that you don't want to say, and that's bringing you back down. That's the whole purpose of the internet, to keep making you fall back down in your level of consciousness. 5D, you have to be able to perceive 5D. You have to feel the oneness with all things. You have to feel connected to all things. You have to see the bigger picture. The bigger picture is no matter what falls, no matter what collapses, no matter what happened around me or to me, God is in control and it's for my good. There's people with stage 4 cancer, and they're dancing and having a good time because they have a connection with God, and they accept whatever God has for them is good. If you're leaving the 3D realm and you haven't quite levitated, if you haven't started to increase your level of consciousness, if you're about to leave that 3D realm, that could be a happy thing. That could be a very fun thing. That could be an okay thing. You're leaving a lot of trauma that you've had in your past, the things that you have not healed from. That could be a positive thing that you're leaving. I've had a friend from elementary school that passed away. She was happy to be going. Her breast cancer spread to her brain and everything, but she was so upset that her husband did whatever he did to her, and she would never stop talking about what he did. She set up her Facebook page as a memorial. She was ready, and it was no way I could talk her out of it. Her name was Alicia Fellows. Rest her soul. It was no way I could stop her from focusing on all the negativity, and she passed away. So depends on what you do with your mind is what you're going to continue to create in your future. Let's see. Oh my gosh, it's almost 2 hours. 1 hour and 48 minutes. You're no longer bonded in 5D. You're no longer bonded by fear. Nothing can scare you. I'm telling you, I had spirits. I've had supernatural things happen in my house when I was in that house, and I could do nothing but take it. I could do nothing but face it. Okay? So I'm saying that to let you know that you cannot have any fear. You cannot have any judgment. You cannot have limitations. You cannot have guilt. You cannot have any negative emotions at all in 5D. The only thing you can have in 5D is love, peace, joy. And if you sink, come back up. Because as soon as you sink out of love, peace, joy, gratitude, love, peace, joy, gratitude, contentment. You're not running after everything. You're content, whatever the situation is. I'm content. Nobody can understand why I'm so content at a Motel 6. In a one room space. Because I don't have a lot to clean. I only have a few dishes. I have, my bedding. I have like 5 dresses total to my name. I have my workout gear, and most of my stuff is black. I wash once a week. Why am I not happy? I am ecstatic. I love a minimalistic lifestyle. I have my few pairs of shoes, you know, my brown sandals, my black sandals, my black toe-in shoes with my toenails ain't done. I got like 3 pairs of tennis shoes that are all old, that I've had for at least 7 years. But they still look good because I was working so hard that I didn't get a chance to use them. So I have plenty of things. I have more than enough things. I'm more than content. In fact, I'm at the Motel 6 and I'm looking at these ladies that don't have anything, and I'm trying to judge their feet to see if they can wear my shoes. Because I want to give them up. I have a bag of shoes that I'm never going to wear again. Oh shoot. What do I do with them shoes? Oh, you know what? I think I put them back in the storage unit today. Not paying attention to what I was grabbing. I sure did. Darn it. Well, anyway, I'm willing to give those up to somebody, because, you know, it's people running around here literally don't really have like tinted down. Like this one lady, she only have one pair of ballet shoes, and she wear like a formal dress every day, a formal dark wine dress with ruffles every day. But she do have something else, because one day I saw her in some pants and a top. But other than that, she wear that dress. So I don't know. I just try to do what God want me to do and don't overstep my boundaries. People are okay. They said that the lady was on drugs or whatever. She's from Russia and she's on drugs. I'm not judging that lady. I want to help her if I could, but you only do what God tell you to do, because you don't want to make yourself available for 3D activity. Just, you know, mind your business. Don't get emotional about other people's situation, because God is working in their life just like he's working in yours. If he put them in a place, that's where he wants them to be. And also, it's just things that's going on in your mind. It's just a projection from your own mind that you see in these people. Excuse me. And you seeing these things just for something that you get attached to, and you can have a storyline. Like I just had a whole storyline about that lady, and it literally, all of this is an illusion anyway. So it's an illusion coming from my mind. It's a projection coming from my mind, and I hope it's not something to try to make my ego make you feel like, oh, here, have my shoes, I'm better than you, I have more than you. No, it's not that. But you have to ask yourself these things, because the mind is a tricky, freaky, weird place. It's a weird old, it could be a weird old deal. It can have you doing and saying things, and then you have to question, who said that? Why would you say that? It's like talking to two people. But in 5D, you get way better at that. You get way better at hearing yourself say things and your emotions, and seeing things, basically demons coming out of you. Different entities that's been trying to live a life in this physical plane inside your body. If you have things that you do that you know you shouldn't do, those are demons. If you have pain in your body, chronic pain in your body, those can be demons. Yes, I got in a car accident, and yes, there was a demon in me that kept telling me, oh, you bent over, your back is killing you, girl, you need to take some more ibuprofen, you need to take, honey. When I saw my labs and I got to the gym, I had never had another pain either. And then it says, if you meditate, when that pain come, watch that pain. Ask who's hurting. And I question that pain so many times. Who's hurting? What are you here for? Who's hurting? And when you question a demon, they flee. When you catch them, they flee. I haven't had any more pain. I haven't had any more pain or discomfort in my back. I've been walking straight up. And at first I thought I couldn't. At first I thought I couldn't sleep. Which way I could? Oh, I couldn't sleep on my stomach. I had all kinds of limitations that went along with this demon and how this demon had to live in this life. Oh, you can't sleep this way. You can't do this, and you can't do this, and you can't twist, and you can't bend. Oh, don't do no squats at the gym. Oh, I'm up to par now. I haven't done any squats, but I do bridges. I do glute bridges on the floor. That don't hurt. It feels good. That doesn't hurt. And I'm like, I thought I couldn't do these things. I woke up, I was sleeping on my stomach, and I was like, oh, my stomach. I was like, I thought I would, nope, it's gone. It's gone. You got to keep them out, though. It's 1 hour and 54 minutes. I'm hurry up. What else? So I got those demons out. I got those judgmental demons. You can judge, but the Bible says judge righteously. Judge according to his word. If you see somebody running around with their butt hanging out of a skirt, you can say that, women are supposed to dress modestly. That's not judging them. That's stating what the word says. Righteous judgment. Say what God's words say. And then you're judging, but you're righteously judging. God said be modest. God said wear dresses. You're not supposed to have your creases, your creases and your folds and you're not supposed to have that out. Okay. No longer fear bound, no judgment, no limitations. Okay. And you have control of your thoughts and emotions. What else? You can embrace neutrality. You do what you would want to do. They like to say things like, the things you see and the people you see are you pushed out. It's your projection. So if you see your projection, you can help your projection. If you're doing it in the right way, you can help your projection. Or you could be neutral. Don't say anything, don't do anything if it's not in your heart to do it. That's 5D. Remember, 5D is the heart. Your whole conversation is love, unity, uplifting other people. You're trusting yourself, you're trusting God, and you're going with flow. You don't live in doubt, you don't live in fear, you don't live in scarcity, and you feel the resistance. If you do something and you feel resistance, stop. I put in a application in New York a while ago where they said, well, you still have to do this, and this. And I felt resistance. So I said, okay, you probably you're not even moving to New York. You don't even know what you're going to do. You don't have no plans for your future. So just leave that for right now. Leave it. You sent the application and you paid for the application, whatever. Just leave that. And when God tell you to go and do it, then you'll do it at that time. Okay, what else? I already talked about seeing the big picture. Approaching life at a higher perspective, knowing everything will unfold for you for your highest good. Okay, you cannot be controlling of anything. You cannot. It's getting windy out here. You cannot be controlling of anything. What else? You have to align with the will of God. Everything is exactly the way it should be, and every single moment. Everything is the way it should be. And it was kind of interesting because after I got to a certain point, I stopped wearing my seatbelt. Now, mind you, there's accidents 24/7 here, and I've been in several myself, and many people have been in several because it's an international airport and people ain't paying attention, and it's always accidents here. Always accidents. Been in several myself. But what I can say is after I got to a certain point, I knew I wasn't going to ever be in an accident again. I know. You come to a place of knowing that's not in the cards for you. That's not in the cards for you. You know it. It's not, there's no doubt. There's certain things you just don't doubt anymore. Like, I don't doubt that he'll take care of me. If my imaginary illusion made account says 0 tomorrow, and this place I only pay for weekly or I might be going to day by day. I don't know what God has planned for me. I don't know what's planned. But if that account says 0, I have no resistance. I will accept it. I will accept it because I know that I am more powerful and more important than anything in this universe to God. So He's going to take care of me, whatever I need, whenever I need it. But you have to wait till these needs become something that you need. Or it has to become a thing, and then He will take care of you. And that's what I trust and believe. Let's see, what else? I am loved, I am supported, life works for me, through me, and never against me. Even in the chaos, there's a higher intelligence at work. All right? Okay, that's my 2 hour. Wow, that was a long update, y'all. All right, well, I hope to update you guys again soon. Talk to you later. Have a nice weekend. Have a nice week. It is, oh, I never know the date. Oh, it's my nephew's birthday. It's April 26th. Oh, it's April 26th, 26. Okay. Sunday night. Talk to y'all next time. Bye. Thank you for listening, hanging in there with me. Bye.